IB Machines, IBM. It's one of their locations. Look, I'm not trying to scare anybody. Maybe I'm trying to alarm people because people should be alarmed. The people that do not learn from history will repeat it because they were never held accountable for their partnership. I mean, literal partnership in the 6 million death of million of people during the Holocaust, the Jews. Never any accountability, never any calling out. They have gained more power. They have gone on to train all the new tech giants, okay? And they're still around. Every business partners with them around the world because nobody's been told. That's how shitty our media is. I don't care if it's Fox, CNN, MSNBC. It's like the most generic garbage ever. And you know what? Them not reporting isn't doing any good for them either, okay? Any interviews you ever watch with people that survived the Holocaust, what you'll hear almost all of them say is one, it was a slow encroachment. It was a slow removing of liberties and things changing. It didn't all come fast. It was little by little. And by the time they realized, no, something is really wrong, they thought somebody would step in. Oh, we know they didn't. Not until after 6 million had died. And yet the very company that was responsible for that being able to happen altogether has never held any accountability for it, and they have never paid the price. In my opinion, they never should have been allowed to operate ever again. But because they were not only allowed, never called out, were never held accountable, they only increased their power. They only got bigger and bigger and bigger, and now are part of Aragon Labs, have now, they're part of Silicon Valley, they're in every company. What went from machines and punch cards during the Holocaust is now facial recognition, digital twins, Internet of Things, Agenda 2030. This would be a good time for Americans to thank God that you have the right to the Second Amendment. You should really take that seriously. And if you make the mistake of thinking that, oh, I'm overreacting, that's what they thought before the Holocaust, too. It's a big mistake. Those that don't learn from history will repeat it. IBM partners with every company everywhere in the world. And of course they bring it on the heels that, oh, the Holocaust was bad, but they won't even open up their archives to their history. And yet the evidence is all there. And then what has happened here? We've lost liberties. At the present time and for the past several years, it's been pushed down our throat that we must accept AI, that nothing can stop it. Nothing can stop it whether you like it or not. Boy, that sounds like people, Nazis, doesn't it? It sounds like your modern day Nazis. Because IBM has just gotten better at their techniques. Digital twins started getting created in around the 2010s. And NASA was doing, it wasn't called digital twins though, but it was like for their Apollo 13 mission, like looking back on it and stuff. So they weren't involved in like human digital twins, and it wasn't called that. But the person that came up with that term was part of IBM. Was part of Fortran, which was part of IBM later in the 50s. As IBM advanced in their coding and their technology. And what has happened to the rest of us? Well, We've lost more liberties over time. We've lost the right to freedom of speech. We don't have a government that operates in any efficient manner because they let this ridiculous nonsense go on. You know, I guess that's why it was such a red flag to me in 2020 when I was at Northwestern, because they put those blacklisted cameras in, and it was, I just knew something was wrong with it, because we already had, they used this excuse that, well, these are thermal cameras, but it was like 6 months prior to that Trump had blacklisted 7 Chinese telecom companies because of national security risks, because of these companies and their facial recognition capabilities, and because of human rights abuses against the Uyghurs in China. And so I thought it was strange that a hospital locked all of their entrance doors and made all of us we had to all be herded in. And this was at all their locations. I was working at a rural, one of their hospitals. But they herded us all into one door. Why? Because they wanted the facial recognition cameras, the ones that were blacklisted, because the serial numbers did go back to one of the companies that Trump had blacklisted. But DOJ and FBI, nobody cared. No media cared. Nobody cared. And to me, it was the most terrifying thing, because I'm like, oh my God, how could this be happening in America? Or is this really happening in America? Terrified me. And Northwestern didn't care. It's like they knew they could do whatever they want. But then they've been doing whatever they want for a while with the amount of hospitals they've merged with, that it's even come out in court records that the FTC was in bed with them, and they had, relations to get monopolize the healthcare system. And I just saw 2 weeks ago, Fermilab. People that don't live in Illinois probably don't know what Fermilab is. It's a small version of CERN. You know, they do the most irresponsible stuff, like smash atoms together. But they're a small version. Decades, a couple decades ago, I went on a tour of Fermilab, but it's now owned by Northwestern. I'm like, oh, why is this happening? This is terrifying. Because once these people have this kind of power, they don't give a shit who the government is anymore. And I fear that's where we're at. That's where we're at. I don't fear. I know it's where we're at. When I contacted all summer of 2020, and no media, no DOJ, no FBI, nobody cared about a hospital putting in these blacklisted cameras, and they have facial recognition capabilities. I was just like, that's when I realized, no, there's nobody to keep America safe. That's what ran through my head. And what it goes back to is nobody held accountable, because at the bottom of this, what you find is IBM, because IBM was involved in the Holocaust. And IBM has gone on to teach the new tech giants all of their genocidal techniques. How they can slowly do the encroachment again on other people. Oh, let's get you time cards so you have efficient paychecks and you have efficient this. All the while, we have to put thermal cameras in for your safety because of COVID, okay? All of that stuff, these slow encroachments of rights, and nobody cared. Nobody to this day cares about it. But their days are numbered, because eventually time runs out. But just remember, while all of the tech Silicon Valley giants tell you you can't stop AI, that sounds like Nazi talk to me. It sounds like, we don't care. We will take your rights. We will tell you what you can and can't do. We'll just be able to do it better now than in the Holocaust, because we literally have digital twins of everyone. I'm not trying to scare people. It's just, it'd be why, for those that have wisdom, it's best you learn from history.